Edson Alvarez has officially joined Fenerbahce on a loan. Let's talk about it. In typical CONCACAF fashion, I've seen a wide range of extreme opinions on this move, ranging from this is the death of the Mexican national team to this is actually the smartest career move Edson could have ever made. You guys let me know how you feel down below in the comments. We'll go through the facts of the move, and then I'll do my pros and cons, and then tell you how I really feel. As I already said, Edson's going to be joining Fenerbahce on a loan. There is, according to Fabrizio Romano, an obligation to buy at the end of the season. Edson Alvarez is 27 years old, and at this point in his career, he's not really going to get much better technically or physically. Any improvement to his game is going to be mental, like decision-making, reading of the game, things like that, that's important because we're going to talk about the manager of Fenerbahce in a second here. It is also critical to remember when assessing this move that this is happening in a World Cup year. I have the opinion that in a World Cup year, you just need to be playing. You need to go into the tournament in form. I don't care if that's in the Turkish League. I don't care if that's in the Australian A-League. You just need to be playing. Of course, try to aim for the highest level possible, but I'm a bit disturbed at how some people are talking about this like sitting on the bench at West Ham for a manager in Graham Potter who doesn't rate Edson whatsoever is better than going to Fenerbahce and playing. Some people just don't know ball. I don't know what to say. And yes, he needed to leave West Ham. There's no future at this club. Fans are pissed at the players. The players look downtrodden. Graham Potter might be out by Halloween. It's not a good situation. I say all that to say Edson had to make a move, and now it has turned out to be going to Turkey for Fenerbahce. We'll do the pros very quickly. The biggest one, in my opinion, is that the manager of Fenerbahce is Jose Mourinho. And fun fact, Edson Alvarez will be the first Mexican ever to be coached by Jose Mourinho. He will be the second ever Mexican to play for Fenerbahce and the sixth ever Mexican to play in the Turkish Super League. The only other Mexican to play for Fenerbahce, can you guys guess? It was Diego Reyes. And let's just say that move didn't really work out. In fact, I would say most Mexicans in the Turkish League have not panned out. So I love the fact that Edson's going to be coached by Jose Mourinho because, like I said at the beginning of the video, he's not going to get better with his first touch at this point in his career. He just needs to know how to be a better field general. And I don't think there's a lot of managers who are better suited to improve a defensive midfielder than Jose Mourinho. We all know that Mourinho likes to play super pragmatic football. He's not a huge possession guy. I think Edson will fit exactly the profile of player that Mourinho wants. And that's probably why Mourinho was able to convince Edson to join anyways. And so I think being coached by Mourinho is a positive, and I think going to the Turkish League in a way is a positive. And what I mean by that is I like to think that if Edson can go over there and we can get some Mexican success stories in Turkey, because like I said, there's barely any, if any, I think that Turkey could be another potential landing spot for young Mexican talent. Turkey right now is kind of the stepping stone to Europe for a lot of like these Central Asian teams, and I don't see why that couldn't be the case for Mexicans as well. But if that's going to happen, somebody's got to go over there and do something. Giovanni Dos Santos getting me 3 assists for Galatasaray in one season doesn't move the needle. Edson could, especially if he performs well in the league and also in Europe, which brings me to the other pro I want to talk about, that Fenerbahce are going to be playing either in the Champions League if they can beat Benfica next week, or they're going to be in the Europa League. If they're in the Europa League, they should be aiming to make a semifinal. If they're in the Champions League, look, I mean, making out of the group phase would be great. Turkish clubs tend not to get much further than the group phase, but I digress. The point is that he will be playing European football no matter what. And even though Fenerbahce have a good squad, he's going to get minutes. I don't know what that minutes allocation is going to look like, neither do you. But he's going to get more minutes here than he was at West Ham. I also like that Fenerbahce is a very intense environment. This is not the same as going to the MLS where you cannot get relegated and kind of there's very little consequences for poor play. If you're bad in Fenerbahce, the fans are going to let you know about it. I would argue that Turkish fans are the most similar to Mexican fans of any fan base in the world. I mean, it is a harsh environment where failure is punished severely. And I'm saying that for the people that think Edson's, going on summer vacation early. And the last pro is that it's a loan with an option to buy, people. I see this as a win-win. Either he joins Fenerbahce, balls out, and they buy him, in which case Edson Alvarez will probably be playing multiple years under Jose Mourinho, and who knows, maybe he leaves when his contract expires to a different European club, or he goes over to Fenerbahce, it doesn't really work out, and he's back at West Ham, and we're searching for a new club for him in the summer. I see this as a medium reward, low risk move. Now, there are some cons to this move, namely that he's going to the Turkish Super League, which I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like it's on par with the Prem or it's on par with La Liga. It's an okay league with 2 really good teams, probably 5 solid teams and the rest of the league can be pretty bad. Another con is that of the reported options that were available to Edson, Ajax and Monaco were on the table. I believe Ajax pulled out because of the wage demands. I would have preferred Monaco because, similar to what I said about Turkey, I think that France and Ligue 1 is a untapped market for Mexican players, and I don't think there's a lot of success stories in that league either. It's a underrated developmental league. Everybody talks about Ligue 1 like it's trash. It's not trash. Your favorite player was probably developed there, so more respect, please. And Edson going to Monaco, where they got a great manager, good squad. I'm not sure if they're going to push for the league, but they'll be in European football as well. Would have been nice. And, you know, the average quality of Ligue 1 is definitely better than Turkey. Ajax, I just feel like that chapter's closed. I don't see any reason to go back other than he's just going to get minutes, which is cool, but if I'm thinking of pros for more people than just Edson, yeah, Ajax wasn't the move. And the last con, and this is something just a thought in the back of my head, is I look at Fenerbahce and I'm not sure where the massive need is for somebody like Edson. He's either going to come in and replace Amrabat or Fred. Amrabat is the more like-for-like change. I do think Edson Alvarez is a better player than Sofiane Amrabat. I'm sorry to any Moroccans watching. If Mourinho's going to play Edson and Amrabat at the same time, then God help any Fenerbahce fan, because that's going to be some dead footy to watch. But I don't know. The reports are that Mourinho really wanted Edson. I have no reason to doubt those reports, but yeah, he's not walking into a situation where the starting CDM just tore his ACL and they need somebody ASAP. There is a potential pathway here where Edson doesn't really become a starter. I think that would be extremely shocking and disappointing if he cannot bench Amrabat, but I don't know. I've been let down before. Overall, do I like this move? Yes. It's not a big deal, y'all. It's just a loan. Like I said, if it doesn't go well, then he's going to end up at another club later anyways. We need Edson Alvarez to be playing games leading up to the World Cup. He was amazing for Mexico at the recent Gold Cup, both in the midfield and at the center back position. We need that to continue, and the best way for that to happen is if he is in the field playing. If I had to go hype meter on this one, I'd probably say C+, maybe B-, just for the Jose Mourinho aspect of it. It's not a hype move, but I think it's a pragmatic one. Those are my thoughts on it. You guys let me know how you feel about Edson to Fenerbahce. I appreciate you guys for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see y'all on the next one.